seen that TikTok went completely bye-bye?
What is it?
TikTok. You know what TikTok is, right? Little short videos that you scroll.
Banned it?
Yeah, they banned it. Yeah, Congress fucking said no more TikTok.
Why?
Fuck y'all. What the reasoning behind it is that it's made by a Chinese company. And they said TikTok was possibly stealing information from Americans and using it in China, and so they banned it as part of a thing. So the real reason is they don't want Chinese people making a bunch of money off Americans. What they want is you to go to Instagram and shit. But it's funny because they banned TikTok, but there's another app like TikTok that is actually in Chinese. It's in Mandarin, and it's called Red Note. So now everybody that was on TikTok has now downloaded Red Note, which is not banned. It is actually going to an actual Mandarin app,
right?
Rather than going to Instagram. So it's ridiculous. And then what's funny is they banned TikTok. The app was taken off all app stores, so you can't access it with Google Play or Apple or anything like that. But then the next day, Trump extended the TikTok ban so they can have longer to sell it. So TikTok came back up, but if you deleted the app, you can't download the app again.
Right.
So technically, it's not banned. If you had the app, you can still access it. But yeah, if you deleted the app, you're shit out of luck until they figure out what they're doing, which God only knows. But yeah, with all the problems in the world, they're worried about a fucking social media app. Makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, and
that's what I do. Let's not worry about homeless or the shooting problems or the fact that half the country doesn't have health care. Let's ban TikTok. That's important.
And that's on the way to censorship too. Like, to me.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. It's
I guess banning TikTok isn't. Is it technically violating your freedom of speech? I guess technically not, but in a way it is.
I mean,
it's a slip. It's a step towards that direction.
Of course, we're one step closer to fascism, and
if somebody,
that's where this country's headed, don't you know?
But like where we're at now, technologically.
Yes.
If somebody wants your information,
they can get it.
They 100% can get your information. Like you said, yeah, it comes down to they don't want all of that money pumping into China.
Right. Yeah, that's basically it.
That's all it ever boils down to.
Everything boils down to money. Another thing I wanted to put out there, from our last episode, I talked to a couple people, David and John, and remember they were having old relationship problems, old David and John. Well, I guess there's an update on those two. They both wrote me back and they said that what I said on the last episode helped them. Thank you. Shout out to David and John again. And that David has decided, I think it was David, one of them decided, I don't know, I might got them mixed up, but one of them decided to end the whole thing. They said if they're with an avoidant, they'd just rather not be with an avoidant, and they're leaving. The other one's still pursuing and taking my advice. So I said, well, good luck with that one, bud. Good luck.
Right.
Good luck with getting her back. Yeah, because I told him on the email, and I said, well, you do realize if you're going to continue with this girl that it's going to be a pattern of this, that it's not going to stop unless she goes and gets therapy or something. I said she's going to continue to pull away and come back, pull away and come back, so you're just realizing that your whole life is going to be this.
I guess the question you have to end up answering to finding out for yourself is she an avoidant or is she a narcissist?
Correct. Yes, because they're close.
Of course they're close.
Yeah, real close. Yeah.
So,
I mean, some have accused me of narcissism.
That's not hard. That's not hard to figure out if you're being honest with yourself. Like,
correct.
If she's using you, in any type of way.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? If she's trying to get.
Well,
if she's asking for anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know the specifics of their situation.
So, yeah.
But like I told him, even if this is a clear case of being an avoidant, you're still going. It's going to be a constant cycle. She's going to run away. She's going to come back. Run away, come back, and you just got to deal with that for the rest of your life.
Right. But an avoidant might be worth pursuing, where a narcissist isn't.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like if she's just being avoidant, then yeah, she's not trying to manipulate you.
Right.
Or
yeah, she's got a deep-seated hurt somewhere in her life that caused all this. And you can kind of excuse that to an extent, but you still got to realize this is going to be your whole life. And what you've got to realize is an old phrase that I saw off a movie a long time ago, is the juice worth the fucking squeeze? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Right.
Is the juice you're getting out of this fruit worth the amount of squeezing you got to do to get the juice? And that's what you got to ask yourself about relationships.
Right.
Is this worth my time? But we're not talking about relationships today, although the way I keep getting emails from people asking our opinions on relationships, how that happened, I don't know. But we're talking about serial killers again. And we're talking about one serial killer in particular in the 90s by the name of Mr. Joel Rifkin. Old Joey Rifkin. Also known from the Seinfeld episode The Masseuse.
Joel Rifkin to the, what did they say, to the will call test or something? Joel Rifkin.
Yeah, to the will call at the baseball game. She's like, it's not a serial killer.
Him and Elaine are arguing about what to change his name to is hilarious.
So, Joe Rifkin, though, that we're talking about was, and he's a goofy looking motherfucker. Have you ever seen a picture of this goofy bastard? Here, look. That's Joe Rifkin. Again,
oh wow.
Again, as soon as you see him, he's got like a handlebar mustache, these old school fucking Steve Jobs glasses.
Got bangs.
Bangs. Yeah, he looks like the type that would go around murdering prostitutes without any. As soon as I seen him, I was like, yeah.
Some people have a look, man. They do. Some people have a look. Like I've known people. I used to work with a guy. I always said, if he ever even got blamed for something, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Cause you throw this dude's picture in the paper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could say any crime.
Yeah, he did.
And you're immediately saying,
yeah,
fuck
he did.
You don't even have to read. Like, yeah, he's fucking guilty as fuck.
So he killed 17 women in the 90s before the police pulled him over for a missing license plate and discovered that he had a victim in his trunk. Here we go. Here we go, guys. That's right. Got pulled over because he had no license plate on the car while he had a dead body in the trunk.
I could have a roach.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
I could have a roach that I'm smoking on.
Yeah.
And I'm making sure that everything that needs to be taken care of is taken care of so that I don't get pulled over. My lights are working.
This motherfucker.
My fucking license plate, you know what I mean, is up to date and it's there.
Yeah.
It's not missing. That's with a roach.
This motherfucker had a whole dead body in the trunk.
I have a dead body in the trunk. I ain't worried about the license plate. I've done this so many times, they never catch me.
Fuck the license plate. So he's a serial killer.
Jesus.
Who went on a string of murders in New York City in the 90s. So in 1989, he killed his first woman. He discarded the bodies of his victims so they could not be identified. He also dismembered them and cut them up. The first one, he left her head in a paint can in the woods off of a golf course. Little inventive of old Rifkin.
Nice.
So in June of '93, his reign of terror came to the end when the police pulled him over and discovered a corpse in the trunk of his car. So he was found guilty of murder later that year and pled to additional counts. So let's get into old Rifkin. He was born on January 20th, 1959.
This is a case where the cops got real lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they always get lucky.
Geniuses!
That's how they found Bundy, man. He had a fucking blown tire on the side of the road. They had a description of his car this whole time. They pull up and they see a whole murder kit in the back of his car, and they're like, that's odd. Duct tape and fucking, tire irons and, rope and, blindfolds. And I wonder what's going on. So he was born on January 20th, 1959 to two unwed college students. Bernard and Janine Rifkin adopted Joel 3 weeks after his birth because his parents didn't want to raise a child. Being college students and not married, they obviously didn't like each other. At least they kept the child, though. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I don't know, 59, they probably had to keep the kid, didn't they? Because 59, abortion was probably still illegal.
Well,
I think it didn't become legal until the 60s.
I
Right, but, so he was
it's a decent thing to do, of course.
Right, but he was adopted, and 3 years later, they also adopted a daughter. In 1965, the family moved to East Meadow, Long Island, where Rifkin enrolled in Prospect Avenue Elementary School. Rifkin had difficulty fitting in school and became a frequent target of bullies. He was excluded from sports teams and neighborhood games because of his sloping posture and his slow gait. He suffered from undiagnosed dyslexia, and he also struggled academically because of this, even though he had 128 IQ, dude. So he had dyslexia, so the teachers automatically thought he was dumb, because, 60s, dyslexia wasn't a common thing. But, yeah, he had 128 IQ, which again goes back to a lot of the serial killers that we've studied. A lot of them are extremely intelligent. I think Bundy was had 160, 180 IQ, something like that.
Yeah, see, I've never done or seen an IQ test. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what the test.
You've never done them? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done a few in my life. The first one I did was in high school in psychology class. I scored 120 on it, and that was in high school. Later on, I've had a few IQ tests done by professionals because, slightly crazy. Slightly mentally not right.
Right.
But yeah, my highest IQ test was 130 to 150. So that's the highest I've ever scored. So as Rifkin entered his teens, he desperately tried to fit in. He joined the track team hoping to make friends, but his teammates tortured him frequently, especially in the locker room. So he became frustrated and he joined the yearbook staff, where his camera was immediately stolen.
Yes. I mean, he looks like a,
he's a dorky motherfucker, yeah.
Typical dude that would, he had his fucking head dug in the toilets and shit.
So he joined the yearbook staff, and even the nerds stole his camera.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And then at the rap party for the end of the year for the yearbook, they excluded him and lied to him and told him it was in a different place than it was. So the mistreatment and isolation that he felt eventually started to wear on Rifkin. He began to retreat into his own disturbed world. He claims to have started having daydreams about this time about raping and stabbing different women. Being that he had been ostracized most of his life by girls, and that he had never really had a real girlfriend his whole entire life, he started having daydreams about raping and stabbing them, which of course that seems perfectly normal to me. Yeah, of course. So he said in 1972 he saw the movie Frenzy by Alfred Hitchcock, and it caused an idea to fixate in his head about strangling prostitutes. Around the same time his parents gave him a car, he started using the vehicle to drive around looking for prostitutes in nearby Hampstead and later in Manhattan. So at this point, he's still young, but he's looking for prostitutes. So his passion for prostitutes would increase as he entered Nassau Community College in 1977. He would frequently skip his classes and rarely showed up to his part-time job, preferring to spend his time with prostitutes instead. Well, who wouldn't? I mean, come on. I mean, you can go study.
Perfectly reasonable to me.
You can go study in college and give this bitch $20 and she'll suck your cock. I mean, come on.
I never cared for school anyway. So.
Who wouldn't go want to hang out with the prostitutes and the pimps? I mean, that's where I want to hang out, shit. But his obsession drained Rifkin of what little money he had. Yeah, because, you know, unfortunately when you're paying for pussy, it's not free. Last I checked, so.
Right.
Yeah. And when you don't go to a part-time job or college.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the catch-22 of the whole situation. Of course, we all want to be out roaming for prostitutes.
But, yeah.
In order to make anything of it, though, Joel, you're going to have to go to work sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta go get.
You're going to have to go to work sometimes.
They're not free, bud.
Right.
So, this caused him to move in and out of his parents' house through the 1980s. He also bounced from school to school, earning poor grades until he finally dropped out of college in 1984. By March of '89, Rifkin could no longer fight the violent mental fantasies he was having. Rifkin waited for his mother to leave on a business trip, and then he picked up a young prostitute by the name of Susie. He brought the woman back to his parents' home in Long Island, where he bludgeoned her with a howitzer military shell. Jesus Christ!
What's that? A fucking
like a, you know,
cannon?
Like, yeah, like a bomb. Yeah, like you know, a shell from a howitzer. So
Jesus.
It's like a 50 caliber machine gun. So he just beat her to death with a fucking artillery shell. Mm-hmm. When she continued to struggle after he beat her, he strangled her to death. He then dismembered her corpse with an X-Acto knife that he got from his father.
Oh my.
Trying to remove her, yeah, an X-Acto knife. So this was a fucking, like, just a fucking regular fucking, you know, like
work knife.
Yeah, work knife. Yeah, like a utility knife. Yeah. He dismembered her with a utility knife.
Oh,
boy,
God.
that takes some time, buddy. He didn't even use a saw or nothing. He had to go through some blades for that one, boy. Jesus Christ. He did this to remove her identity. He severed all of her fingertips, removed her teeth with some pliers of his father's. He then hid her severed head in an old paint can and stashed the rest of her body in garbage bags. Rifkin dumped Susie's head and legs in the woods in New Jersey and tossed her arms and torso into the East River in New York. Despite Rifkin's elaborate attempts to conceal the murder, a member of the Hopewell Golf Club where he stashed her head and legs found the can containing Susie's head several days later.
Jesus.
Police were unable to uncover the victim's identity or who had been responsible for the murder. Well, duh. So a year later, Rifkin claimed his second victim, prostitute Julie Blackbird, again waiting until his mother went out of town, because he never has a job. He was still living with his parents. Rifkin drove Blackbird to his mother's Long Island home. The next morning, Rifkin beat his victim, this time with a table leg, before he strangled her. He again dismembered the corpse as before with the X-Acto knife.
Jesus.
But this time he placed the body parts in buckets weighted with concrete and tossed all of the remains in the East River and the Brooklyn Canal. Well, at least he's progressing. least he's learning.
Smarter.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit there.
Yeah, don't leave the fucking
head in the woods, yeah, by the golf
can on the
course.
fucking
Yeah.
fairway. I mean, Jesus Christ, Rifkin.
Putting in the 9th grade and you find a head in a fucking paint can. What the fuck is it? I was just trying to get my ball out of the rough, guys.
Dude, that would be
That'd be
fucked
crazy.
up.
Yeah.
That would be fucked up.
What's this paint can full of head? So Rifkin then started his own landscaping business in 1991. He began using the rented job site to stash corpses until he could properly dispose of them. Among his victims during this year in 1991 were prostitutes Barbara Jacobs, Mary Ellen DeLucia, and Yoon Lee. Rifkin would go on to strangle 17 women, most of whom were drug addicts or prostitutes. The police were rarely able to identify the victims, much less the perpetrator of the crime. So in June 1993, Rifkin strangled hooker Tiffany Brasini and drove her back to his mother's home, stopping at a store along the way for a rope and a tarp, while her corpse lay in the back seat of his mother's car. He can't even get his own goddamn car. By the time he got home, she was wrapped in a tarp and concealed in the trunk. Rifkin then moved Brasini into the garage, leaving her body in a wheelbarrow in the summer heat for 3 days.
Fuck.
He was on his way to dump the corpse about 15 miles north of his home when police troopers noted that he was missing a rear license plate on his truck. When police attempted to pull Rifkin over, he began a high-speed chase instead. Panicked, he crashed into his car into a utility pole in front of a local courthouse.
Nice. Nice.
So.
That's fucking instant karma.
Yeah, that's karma, boy.
That's awesome.
If only it was the courthouse he was tried at. That'd have been great. So as troopers came up to the car, they detected a strong odor from the back of the trunk. I guess so. I mean, he kept her in a wheelbarrow for 3 fucking days in the summer heat.
Wrapped in a tarp.
Wrapped in a tarp. I'm sure she was ripe.
Oh.
Beyond fucking ripe at this point, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It came from Brasini's rotted corpse. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Police immediately took Rifkin into custody when they found the corpse in the bag. Oh, God. So they started interrogating Rifkin on June 28, 1993. He described all 17 murders, writing out the names he remembered and even sketching maps to help police find the victims that were still missing. He was transferred to Nassau County Correctional Facility in East Meadow to prepare to stand trial. In 1994, in May, he was sentenced to 25 years to life for murder, as well as reckless endangerment for leading police on a car chase. I think you could have let the reckless endangerment go, guy. Really, he's got 25 to life. I mean...
But we need to throw it in there because he fucked up our utility pole. You know what I mean? That son of a bitch.
Oh. So, he was transferred to Suffolk County Jail after the trial, where Rifkin pled guilty to 2 more counts of murder. He received 2 more consecutive terms of 25 to life in prison, so he got 3 altogether. By January 96, Rifkin was scheduled to serve at least 183 years for 7 slayings, with 10 counts still outstanding. That same year, after several conflicts with other inmates, yeah, because he couldn't even get along in prison. No. Prison officials...
You're a fucking dork, you're a dork.
They decided that his presence at the prison was disruptive. So he was placed in solitary confinement in Attica Correctional Facility for 23 hours a day for 4 years. Damn. He was let out of his fucking cell 1 hour a day for 4 fucking years.
That's wild.
Fitting. Fucking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, about this dude.
No, that's great.
So, in 2000, Rifkin attempted to sue the prison for violating his constitutional rights, saying that he should not be placed in solitary confinement. The court ruled in favor of the prison. So, officials say that now Rifkin is now in prison with more than 200 other inmates at Clinton who are not allowed to mix with general prison population. In 2002, he tried to appeal his convictions for the murder of 9 of the women, and the Supreme Court in New York said, nah, no. No. He is now serving 203 years in Clinton Correctional Facility, and he is eligible for parole in 2197 at the age of 238.
Oh. It'll be here in no time.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get out in no time, buddy. 2197. I'm sure you'll make it. Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a classic case of dude that gets bullied.
Oh my God.
Dude that gets bullied turns into a fucking killer.
I can't believe he fucking ran from the cops and then ran into a light pole in the courthouse.
In front of the courthouse.
Right in front of the courthouse.
That's fucking terrific.
Ah, Jesus Christ. After keeping a body for 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
He should have just done it the first day.
Police are so incompetent in so many of these cases. Like, it was bound that one of them, you know what I mean? Like, destiny, the universe just threw him a bone. Like,
here you
man,
go.
you guys can't solve shit here.
Here, we'll give it to you.
See if you can get this one right.
Yeah, since you can't seem to get any case right that we've ever researched, guys, you're looking at psychics and everything else, we'll throw you one. We'll throw you one.
Of course.
Because, you know, you can't do it on your own, motherfuckers.
Right.
No. I mean, yeah. And you know what's funny? The funny part is, if he hadn't left her in the garage for 3 days, if he had dumped her the same day, he probably would have never been caught. Never. They had no idea who he was.
If they couldn't have smelled her well, and if they couldn't have smelled her right, and if he doesn't run.
Right.
If he just simply pulls over.
I mean, they still would have smelled her, but
maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah. You'd think, the body had to smell when he put her in the trunk. Plus, what the fuck are you doing driving around with a corpse in your car 3 days old with no fucking license plate?
Right.
What the fuck? That's day one shit, motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying.
God damn.
Yep.
I mean, you goofy bastard. That's day one. That's not even hard shit. Alright? You don't even deserve to be a serial killer.
Yeah.
You deserve to be caught. You're an idiot. But anyways.
Yeah, it's unreal.
This was our episode on old Joel Rifkin. I hope you liked it, and we will see you next time.
Later.